The Monday Night the Monday Night Football Bombs edition of the Bottom Line Bombs on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code BOMBS to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. We're also brought to you by Water, Cough Drops, and Unhealthy Living. Sorry about that. Anyway, let's hit the song. Let's just get it going because it's Monday. Bang. Oh boy, welcome to the Bottom Line Bombs. I am your host, CJ Sullivan, the Laddie Daddy. Back Detective Scumbagger Vance, man in the box. Yes, it is Monday, September 16th. Live now from Eagle Rock, California, as I bring you the show. I came in rough there with the ad drop, the pre-roll ad drop. I needed a cough drop, apparently. So I apologize for anyone who just got the gargling death coming right at you, including the sponsors. Anyway, got a big show today. We have Monday Night Football tonight. Eagles versus the Falcons. Also recap the disastrous weekend of bombs and NFL games of gambling for week one. We'll have a man in the box at the end. We'll talk a road to 10 million. We'll talk it all. It was a bloodbath for gamblers. The Circa Million contest, I did not do well. Not back-to-back weeks. No one did well. The experts, the sharps, everyone's getting hit hard. Underdogs are ruling the roost. 6 underdogs of one outright. And the big dogs are all hitting. It was brutal. Even the bad teams sometimes are covering if they're not winning, like the Bears last night. How did they cover? They did absolutely nothing, and then they covered. It's because it's flags. It's all flags these days. God hates flags. And the books are doing great. That's what I love hearing. Listen, my show's a little bit different. If you don't know, I do picks with bits for tobacco use. So I go with the bit. I mean, I still do solid picks, and I believe in them. I do take them seriously. But I do make fun of the gambling community, the touts and all that. The Bottom Line Bombs, the name itself. My nickname's obviously just taking the piss out of it, as the Brits would say. That wasn't a British accent, was it? That wasn't even close. But that being said, like everything in my life, I start off ironically and like sarcastically, and then I'm like, well, is this a joke anymore, or is this my life? This is it. Because then you look at your feed and your algorithms. It comes up on your X and your Instagram. Make sure you follow me on those at CJ Sullivan. And that's all. Now that the more you engage in that, that's the more you get. So now I have nothing but a lot of gambling stuff on my feed according to the algorithm. And one thing I hate about the gambling sphere is the side from the books. What the books need, how the books are happy. The books are ecstatic this weekend. The books cleaned up. The books always clean up. I don't want to hear that the books need the Bears to cover. I don't want to hear that. The books are going to get it no matter what. The books. Fuck the books. And then you have people representing them on as humans. And they think they're getting you're not getting a piece of that money. You're not a corporation. It tilts me. The books, the casinos don't need the books for anything. They're like 3% of what their take is because of all Aunt Judy on the slot machine and drinking her Singapore slings and dropping your U.S. bonds in there. I don't know what I'm talking about. Point is, I hate hearing how the books did great. Yeah, we know the books did great. The books always do great. I want to hear when I do great. And I didn't do great. rough weekend, but it's all right. We'll get through this. And we've been through worse. And this is the war against corporate gambling. It's heating up. SGPN needs you to do your part. If you could take a couple seconds to rate and review the Bottom Line Bombs. That's this show right here. Most importantly, tell a friend or 50,000 of them. Word of mouth is the heartbeat of SGPN. Now, that's a mid-roll I can get behind. I like that. Anyway, all right. Let's get into today's show here. Enough bitching about the GD books and how great they did. I just don't like hearing about it. Because we have so much to talk about. I'll break down a lot of stuff that happened on week one. But we got Monday Night Football tonight. That is the last of my circa 5 picks. We need it to get a win on the board. I know I gave out a 1-3 record, but I actually replaced one of them. And that lost too. They all lost. There was losers all around. You know the problem with let me get into this right now. When you give out picks, it's a risky business, and I get it. People put their chicken on the line. I don't like. That's why you don't brag about winning, because the losing is going to come. I also have friends who know that I do a show, and they'll text me for their picks, but they don't listen to the show. Go to hell. Hey, what are the bombs for this weekend? I'm like, it's on the show. I don't have time for that. Listen, I get it. Okay, fine. Well, here's some picks, and then they don't win, and then they come complaining. What the fuck was up with that picks? I don't know. Where were you not listening? Engage. I give out the fake picks to you anyway. Like Charlie Sullivan used to do. I'm going to tell you for free. I'm just kidding. I do not sell picks, nor would I ever want to. But I do hate when friends ask you for picks, for free picks, and they do it on Twitter, the whole thing. And then they complain when they lose. You know what I have to say to you? When you think you have the right to yell at my free picks, my bombs that I give you?
Time nor the inclination to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the blanket of the very freedom that I provide, and then questions the manner in which I provide it. I would rather you just said thank you and went on your way. Otherwise, I suggest you pick up a weapon and stand a post. Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to.
That's what I'm thinking of. I don't have the time. I don't give a fuck what you think. Oh, yeah, sorry, Jacksonville didn't cover. I'm sorry. I didn't know Evan Ingram was going to get hurt during the pregame warm-ups. I did not factor that in. Or that Sean Watson, all of a sudden, was a little slippery down there. Sorry. I don't want to hear about it. Anyway, we'll get into all those things. Let's talk about Monday Night Football real quick, because it is not on Fox, but that's the only football song I have. Again, I spent all my time getting that Jack Nicholson clip lined up for today. I certainly don't have any other appropriate soundboard stuff. What do you want me to do? I'm the man in the box here. Eagles Atlanta tonight. We laid 6.5 in the contest line. It is now 5.5. That is the Delhi Llama getting the worst of the number there. Rare occasion for the Delhi Llama, but that's because I gave that out before the A.J. Brown news came out. A.J. Brown will not be playing tonight, so that line ticked down a bit. And the way you look at it, all the underdogs, everyone who looks bad in week 1 except for Carolina, they bounce back. They look week 2. That's what usually happens. So if you look at that, you look at Kirk Cousins week 1, you're like, oh, God, he looked awful. He doesn't look healthy. Eagles put up some points. Brazil. So you're like, oh, it's easy smash grab. But I don't care. I want to be stubborn about it. I'm sticking with my Eagles 6.5. I'll certainly stick with them plus 5.5 to keep those spikes. The books need the Falcons. Otherwise, the doors close. That's right. Casino Tropicana all over again. They're going to blow up all these casinos unless Cousins can backdoor this. Oh, if they can get a money line outright. To ruin all the parlays and teasers. The books need wiped out the parlays and teasers. The books are fine. So I already gave out Eagles. I kind of like the under. I think they're going to grind it out a little bit more. Here's a couple prop bombs I'll give you for tonight, though. Now, can Cousins move? Was this the Steelers defense? Is the Steelers defense the greatest of all time? Who knows? But I love this whole thing. Like they can't line them up under center. It has to be in a pistol or a shotgun.
You like that?
Oh,
You like that?
good Lord. Kirk Cousins is not healthy. Whatever happened, I missed the good old days that the Kirk Cousins doesn't do well in prime time. What was up with that? I like that handicapping. You know, he's just a middle-aged dad who wants to get to bed, tuck it in by 8 o'clock. He can't be out late at night. There's a couple Falcon props I do like tonight, though. I'll give them out. I'm on the Eagles, even though I feel less confident about it. Especially with A.J. Brown out, to be honest with you. And just the way things are going, just the way the dogs are hitting, and just the way it just seems like a bounce-back thing. But the Eagles are a superior team. And I did say I will tout this, C-generates. Preseason, when I broke down the NFC South, I said I was all over Tampa Bay and New Orleans as far as value goes, because they're both plus 350. I gave them out. Those are the ones you wanted to attack. The land, there's no way you could have laid it on the land. I'm like, I thought there was no difference between New Orleans, Atlanta, and Tampa Bay. Turns out there might be. Turns out Atlanta might be worse than both of them. But who knows? It's a long season to go, like we said. Ray McLeod is a prop everyone seems to be liking. I don't mind it. Over 2.5 receptions. Last week, he caught 4 for 52, but on 7 targets. That's a lot of targets for Ray McLeod. That's the thing. They have Drake London, they have Kyle Pitts, and then nobody else. Ray McLeod is the slot guy. He's the guy you want. Yes, they have Darnell Mooney. He's more of a deep threat, too. He kind of gets confused with not confused, but he crosses up there with Drake London. Ray McLeod, Cousins likes him. He relies on, especially when the pressure's coming. And there will be pressure tonight from the Eagles. Eagles defense does not do well against mobile quarterbacks that move around and break down plays like with Jordan Love. Now, if they sit in the pocket because they have a Achilles injury they're not recovering from, that's when they can tee off. And that's why I do like the Eagles. And I think they're going to smack Cousins around. But Ray McLeod over 2.5 receptions, that seems like that can get there no matter what. So we'll hit that. I also want Josh Huff a sack. Why not? Bomb that. Bryce Huff, I mean. Whatever the fucking Huff guy is. So as I curse and chew on an ice cube, I apologize. The other Falcon prop I like is Bijan Robinson over 14.5 carries. He had 18 carries last week. Now, if Cousins can't do it, they're going to have to run the ball a lot. And you can run on against the Eagles. Josh Jacobs showed that in the second half. The Eagles defense. We heard all we want about Nick Fangio. It was the same old shit. Yes, that field was slippery, but it was the same old shit. People were flying around all wide open. But Bijan Robinson last week, 18 carries, and Tyler Algier only had 3. It looks like he's going to be the 90%, 95% bell cow, whatever you want to say in the fantasy world. So will he pop it off? Probably. But over 14.5 carries seems pretty solid to me for Bijan. That being said, I still like the Eagles, even though I gave out a couple Falcon props. I think they will get to Cousins. What is the total sacks? That might be a fun thing to do. Let's see here. Over under sacks. Now these are people. Bryce Huff is even money to get a sack. He's the free agent they brought in from the Jets, who apparently does nothing but sacks because Fangio is hilarious. He just calls out his players like, yeah, he doesn't do anything but rush the passer. If he's out there, trust me, he's there to rush the passer. He cannot do anything else. Like, all right, well, fuck. He's on our side, right? You like him? I kind of like him. I don't know. Let me look up a total team sack prop. Because sometimes that's fun to do. Total field goals, over 2.5 field goals. I like that, too. It's all it is field goals nowadays. How about the Sunday night game? Mike Tirico kept saying it was a different golf analogy every time. Boy, the 50-yard field goal is like a 4-foot putt. Now the 50-yard field goal, that's like a 300-yard drive from some 20-year-old frat boy. What? Yeah, the 50-yard field goal is like a flop shot off the bunker from one of those goddamn influencers who wears a bikini. What are you talking about, Tirico? 4.5 total sacks. That is from both sides of the ball. I like that. That's going to be my bomb. I want to throw out that bomb. Bang. So that's over 4.5 sacks, over 2.5 field goals. Eagles minus 5.5, 6.5 in the contest. Ray McLeod over 2.5 receptions, and Bijan Robinson over 14.5 receptions. That is a quick analysis of the bombs that you will be getting. Now, before I break down and recap the NFL Week 1, go Birds. If you notice, I'm wearing my my Nick Sirianni, even though I don't like Nick Sirianni. I am an Eagles fan, but I'm wearing his Italian big dom Italian flag post hat bullshit that he wears. I'll lock it. I'll give you that. It's absurd. It's like a cartoon, not Italian flag. First I have to tell you about Underdog Fantasy, though, of course, because Underdog Fantasy, which I've hit. I'm going to put some of those plays in Underdog Fantasy, actually. I'm trying to do this ad read in a lower, not as exciting ad read, so AI doesn't pick it out to use for one of my clips. Underdog Fantasy Pick'em is always adding to their awesome menu. They now have first touchdown projections. There's a ton of ways to win the NFL, college football, MLB, MMA, and more. Their lobby is jam-packed with profit boosts and no sweat entries. You can now use special boosts and up flex entries. I'm going to use Ray McLeod. So sign up with promo code BOMBS to claim your special pick and first-time deposit after $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code BOMBS. Like I said, I just gave out all the ones you need, all the ones you needs to fit. We are back here in the Bottom Line Bombs. I'm your host, the Laddie Daddy, man in the box, bet detective, the Deli Llama with a bad number. We'll talk about the road to 10 million. We'll talk about let's get into the week recap, NFL weekend, week 2 recap. Like I said, it was a bloodbath. Books did great though. I'm happy the books won. The ones I gave out on the show, 1 and 3. If you don't like, and the Eagles tonight can make it 2 and 3.
The time nor the inclination to explain. I have neither the time nor the inclination to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the blanket of the very freedom that I provide, and then questions the manner in which I provide it.
Listen, I have my own, I have my own style. The Rams, that was flat out wrong. Not gonna, you can, there's nothing worse than, I will say this. I like a blowout loss because then you can turn it off. All right, I was wrong on that one. No doubt about that. They had 4 folding chairs as offensive linemen due to injury, and I thought it wouldn't matter. Not that offensive line isn't important, but I thought versus Arizona wouldn't matter because their defensive line is so bad. It mattered. Arizona beat the living bejeebers out of them. So there is something good about that. Like, well, okay, well that's wrong, but it's also you can't cry about a bad beat or some bullshit about a flag, you know. So I missed that. Jaguars, man, they're kind of in it, but they're kind of, I don't know. What the hell's wrong with those Jaguars? Unbelievable. That was also off. Denver, another one. Bo Nix, my God. He threw an interception. Just don't turn the ball. Just take knees. I will say this. Okay, I knew that game was going to be ugly. So, well, we can't have those we can't have those Will Levis type interceptions and turnovers. Just get your field goals. Get it within 2 or 3. That's all I wanted. And it was. I lost by a touchdown. Did you see Sean Payton elect not to onside kick? Probably no one watched it because everyone's watching the Chiefs Bengals game, which was a great game. I'll get to that in a second. But Denver, Pittsburgh, and good for Pittsburgh for winning the Petty Bowl by. They said afterwards, Justin Fields said, "Yeah, they did Russell Wilson dirty, so we wanted to win it for him, and we gave him a petty game ball." Really? Why didn't you let him play quarterback then? To really? Well, we wanted to win. We didn't want to. I mean, they did him dirty as in a sense where they were right. They should not have let him play quarterback because he's not good. But no, we gave him a petty game ball. We let him warm up beforehand. We made him look like he was going to play. Russell Wilson was inactive, but he's warming up in uniform 2 hours before the game. He's wearing a uniform on the sideline. Like I said, why not wear a different uniform, Ross. Why not wear like a baseball uniform or a Navy brigade, or a captain of the ship, A different costume. Anyway, Steelers won. Anyway, they were down 7 to Saints with 1:50 to go. They had one timeout, and Sean Payton kicks it deep instead of onside. That's what you did, NFL. You completely broke the onside kick, where now these coaches are like, well, if I can get the ball back with 12 seconds, it's worth it, which it's not. There's no math that backs this thing up. I'm starting to think, C-Generates, that it might be possible that Sean Payton is not a good coach without Drew Brees. I don't know. Maybe. Could be. They kicked it deep with one timeout in 1:50. Best case scenario, which is what happened. You stopped them 3 and out. They punt it. You get the ball back on your own fucking 30 or whatever with 20 seconds to go. Not even like 10. It was 18 seconds. What? And you need a touchdown. Onside kick the ball. Even if you don't get it, you still have to go 3 and out. They got to punt. The field position's barely going to change. I can't take some of these coaches. Anyway, let's get to the win, right? The win I gave you guys, which was probably the worst one I had. No, the Rams was definitely the worst bomb. Rams was terrible. Jacksonville, not so good. Denver also not great. But we had Washington over New York. And full disclosure, C-Generates, if you look at the Bet Detective on the Circus Sport, I actually did not submit this one. I replaced it last second because this was my handicapping with it, and I replaced it with Houston, who got backdoored. So we're not good. But and I stand behind that. I'd rather to do it again, I would take Houston over the Bears -6.5 than I would this Washington. Washington had no business winning this game. We all know the stat. Never in the history of football has a team scored 3 touchdowns and not given up a touchdown and lost in regulation. And that's what the Giants did yesterday to Washington. Why? Because their kicker got hurt on the opening play. This amazes me every time that NFL teams have no plan B when their kicker gets hurt. I mean, none. Kicking is like 40% of the game, of the scoring. I'd argue he's more important than the quarterback. You can win with an average quarterback that can handle. Malik Willis won the game yesterday, but they had a kicker. Hell, Jaden Daniels was awful, but Washington had a kicker that they got off the street who kicked 7 field goals. Graham Gano, 36 years old, came in with a groin injury. They knew he was hurt. And Dable doesn't bring up a kicker from the practice squad to back him. When a kicker gets hurt, they're like, oh, God, what do we do now? They literally start asking people on the sideline, who used to kick in high school? Anybody? Anybody play soccer? Anybody watch the Olympics, the World Cup? Have you seen it? Or they'll get a lineman. All right, you know what? Fuck it. Let's get a lineman. Just put your toe into it. Put as much as your 300-pound foot into this thing as you can. See what happens. It's unbelievable. So the Giants scored 3 touchdowns, but they had to go for 2 every time. They missed them all. They couldn't kick field goals. They had to go for it. Malik Neighbors did drop a 4th down ball. I felt bad for Malik Neighbors because he was great yesterday. He had 10 catches. And if you caught me on the VSiN show with Sean and Ryan, I gave out the Malik Neighbors reception ladder, and we got the kitty out of the tree. That's as high as it went to 10 catches. So bink that, plus 880.
700 billion and up.
I mean, like I told you, I'm big on Malik Neighbors to lead the league in receptions this year. I have him at 75-1. He's now I think he's got 15 catches. Obviously, after 2 games, and the leader is Cooper Kupp with 18, who's hurt. So who knows? Obviously, long season. Get better, Cooper Kupp. Anyway, so I did sub him out for Houston. I feel that was it didn't work out. But my entire handicap for Washington was, and this is the reason why I switch it, and we'll take the win. I gave you out the win, but the only because the Giants kind of own Washington. They have a better defense. Washington's defense is terrible. Daniel Jones looked really bad, but he's also kind of banged up. He looked better yesterday. I was like, the only real handicapping that would advantage that Washington has over the Giants was vibes, really. Like, they seem happier over there, even though they're firing employees from secret recordings. But they just seem like good vibes. They like Jaden Daniels. They hate Daniel Jones, And that's basically what got it done. They won on vibes alone. They should not have won. They got their kicker off the street. I always love that. Kickers come from off the street, panhandling. Quarterbacks come off the couch. Like Miami just signed Tyler Huntley. Got him off the couch. Joe Flacco came off the couch. Kickers, we find them on the street. Fucking giving hand jobs for $10. Anyway, it was amazing. The Giants could have done so many things. Bring up a kicker. And Dable, God bless him. I'm starting to love Dable. The Giants coach who won Coach of the Year 2 years ago, who we look back in absolute shame. The what's her face from Marissa Tomei? She's the Brian Dable's the Marissa Tomei. We look back in shame that we gave her an Oscar for My Cousin Vinny. We're like, oh God, can we take that back now? All right, we gave Dable Coach of the Year. Ooh, all right. Takia Spikes picks up a good time. Can the punter do a drop kick like Flutie did at one time? Listen, the punter, he got in there. He did the first extra point and he missed it. And so Dable's like, oh, fuck it, that's not going to work again. We'll give him another shot. First of all, or let the punter kick off. Do the kickoff. You guys do a drop kick now anyway. You don't have to boom it through. And so your place kicker isn't chasing around Austin Eckler all over the field, pulling hamstrings and groins. He had a bad groin. Then he hurt his hamstring. Dable's like, well, he hurt his hamstring. Nothing to do with the groin. Yeah, that's something to do with it. I'm pretty sure that's related. Yelling at reporters. I can't predict injuries. No, you can't. But you can prepare for it. Where's my notes? The analog man looking for my notes. Damn it. Oh, well. How hard is it to kick I know it's hard to kick a ball. I don't want to be a Pat McAfee college game day thing where these college kids talk shit about it. I understand it's hard, but have one or two lying around the football field on the roster that can do it. It's the most important part of the goddamn game. The problem is the NFL always look at kicking being effeminate. They don't like how much they're beholden to kicking. They change the overtime rules. They're like, well, we can't just win on a field goal. That's gay. It's got to be a manly score, like a safety. Even though it's less points, but it's a man's way to score. Anytime a kicker does bad, it's a kicker. Who cares? Throw him in the trash. Yeah, well, you saw what happened. You lost only because you don't respect kicking. Anyway, Kansas City. I did mention the Kansas City Cincinnati game. I did not have. I wish I did have Cincinnati immediately. I'm like, oh, this is the TV game. This is Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, who the video is that he couldn't hold a Gatorade bottle or something, and he's like, what? What are you talking about? Joe Burrow looked great yesterday. He looked awesome. And everyone was talking shit about Burrow coming up to, like, their hot takes. I'm like, oh, well, this is going to be a Joe Burrow game. But Kansas City does what Kansas City does. And yes, the refs do help them out. And Mahomes does get interceptions called back. And that interference, it was interference. What are you doing? Why are you bailing him? Don't let him do it. I don't understand how they get these plays off every time that they have a shot. It's incredible. That was a missed extra point. No one even talks about that. Kansas City finds a way. Yep, they do. They do find a way. They get a fucking free touchdown on a Burrow fumble thing. Like, it's insane. Mahomes threw for fucking 150 yards.
Showtime, Mahomes.
And it's just like, that's what he does. He puts on the bandana. The Houdini act.
Showtime, Mahomes.
I feel bad for the Bengals. But that was an obvious Bengals win, or at least cover. Easy cover. All right, let me take a quick break, and then I'll talk a little Survivor. Road to 10 million. We'll go man in the box. Yeah, let me get into it. But first, let me tell you about BetUS. We're brought to you by BetUS. Bet with the best in the business. BetUS has been around for more than 40 years. Bet anywhere. BetUS is available at tons of locations, including internationally. BetUS just launched an all-new live betting experience. Early deposit using crypto gets lightning-fast payouts. Use our link to sign up and get a 125% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. Promo code SGPN so they know we sent ya. BetUS is America's favorite sports book. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. The rhythm's gonna bet you. Rhythm's gonna bet you. Rhythm's gonna bet you. With props. Props. SGPN's proud partner, Rhythm, is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors for levels of the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds and get predictions on betting, money line, spreads, totals, and props. Rhythm AI had a great NFL week 2. 22.5% ROI on NFL spread bets and a 44.3% ROI on NFL money line bets. Build your own model, copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard, or press build a model from me. Rhythm gives you predictions for every game and player props and always has a myriad of stats. Research and trend analysis to give you even more betting insights. I'll pull up a Rhythm bet they like. I'll tell you who they like right now. Because I am privy to this great site, and I use it myself. As soon as I find it on my phone. Here it is. Here we go. Make sure you claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And we're back here on the Bottom Line Bombs. I am your host, CJ Sullivan, the man in the box, the laddie daddy, the deli llama, scumbagger Vance, bet detective. All that stuff. Yeah, Rhythm likes Bijan Robinson to get a touchdown anytime, touchdown -110. Jalen Hurts +105 anytime touchdown. They like. Those are too big. Those are 2 easy touchdown props right there. They like that even more. I was big on Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown for the Brazil game. Oh, we had it. That last drive right there, and he fumbled the snap. It was going to be the tush push. Oh, get ready for Kelsey in the booth tonight. My God. I'm an Eagle fan that hates all things Eagles. It seems like I'm sick of Kelsey. I'm sick of Sirianni. I hate everything Eagles. But I'm an Eagle fan. What can I do? You got to take it. God damn it, Kelsey. I can't take the talk of it. All right, let's talk road to 10 million. I should play a road song for that, right? What would a road song be? I don't even know. I could listen to Nicholson again. Nice pick, CJ. That's what I got. I woke up to a text too, because that's the worst. Because some of my friends, they're on the East Coast, and I live in Los Angeles, so I'm waking up at 6 a.m. They're already up at work at 9, sick of their goddamn, looking at their account that's got soaked by some of my bombs. So what? That happens. And they're gonna complain to me about my free plays.
The time nor the inclination to. I have neither the time nor the inclination to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the blanket of the very freedom that I provide, and then questions the manner in which I provide it. I would rather you just said thank you and went on your way. Otherwise, I suggest you pick up a weapon and stand a post. Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to.
I love that. Oh, Feach Lamani, welcome to the chat. He says, Calcaterra anytime touchdown. I like that. I know Kramer gave him out for first touchdown at 40-1. He's the backup tight end for the Eagles. Because there's no A.J. Brown, they're going to try to go bigger. So that's why I like the backup tight ends. Dallas Goddard should have a nice game today. Calcaterra, for sure. I like anytime touchdown. What's he at? Let me take a look at some of those numbers. I already gave out a lot. I gave out total sacks. I gave out Bryce Huff sack, over 2.5 field goals. But anytime touchdown for Grant Calcaterra is 11-1. I like that. Let's give you a bomb on that one, baby. 2 touchdowns, 89-1. I always like sneaking that 2 touchdown market. And anytime you get a backup tight end, why not? You know? Ray McLeod, 36-1 for 2 touchdowns. That's not too bad. I don't like that though. Calcaterra, I like that. Good play, Peach. I'm all with you. All right, let's talk a little road. Road to 10 million. I should have done a road song. You like that better than the Allman Brothers? Me going I don't have the rights to play Allman Brothers. The road to 10 million. I put out some videos this weekend and some road outtakes, and it's getting narrow, degenerates. I gave out 2 survivor plays on Thursday. Oh, I should tout that we hit the Bills on Thursday. Right before, that was going to win even before Tua died. We gave out Baltimore, which lost, and we gave out Houston. Week 1, we had 3 of them. We lost one with Cincinnati to the Patriots. Now we lost another one to Baltimore. Everyone lost to Baltimore. So in the Circus Survivor, I do have 1 entry left. That's just why the road to 10 million is about. This is why I'm kind of excited. The road to 10 million, I didn't want to just have 1 entry like I normally do, then you're out. I'm like, everyone's got these multiple entries, but they're whales. I can't be shipping 10K. So let's run this parlay up. Ran a 2K up to 5K. Let's get multiple entries. So we had 3 Survivor, 1 Circuit Millions, and we blew the rest in Vegas. What are we going to do? Sorry. Should have got another entry. Actually, I'm glad I didn't get another entry because when Baltimore lost yesterday, and it happened again with Gardner Minshew and this damn Ravens team. Ravens team, they play with their food a lot. You know? They're up 10, just playing with their food. And then here comes Minshew, like he did last year for the Colts. Oh, he's not going to do it again to me. He did it again to me. Sons of bitches. There's a questionable flag on Devontae interference. But these interference calls, it's just what this game is now. I can't even say questionable. You just have to deal with it. That Texans, that God, the Texans won outright. Although I was never worried, ever. Even when they were down, even when Bears had the ball down 6, Caleb was not going to drive and score a touchdown. I was tilted, though, when he got that roughing the passer to get that field goal for the cover, the backdoor cover. I wasn't mad about that because I also used them as an entry. But point is, Baltimore play with their food. They're out. But this is why we have 3 entries. Now we're down to 1. The road is narrow. We have 1 entry left because we did hit Houston. Now we just have to hit a quick 18-game money line parlay, and we are on to 10 million. You know, it's over that. Crazy Baltimore game yesterday. It's just ridiculous. Chain gang went down. Did you see that? The chain gang, the first down markers, they always have these old volunteers, these old elderly men who hold the chains to determine if this billion-dollar corporation has a first down or not. People have been calling for a chip in the ball. I mean, they have the technology, right? A laser something to replace the chain gang. I say no. I love the chain gang. Some people are like, oh, well, at least replace these old people with young, no way. Absolutely not. You don't want Gen Zers on the chain gang. Are you crazy? What are they going to do? They're going to be on their phones. You think they're going to be on paying attention to their job for 4 hours on the sideline? Only a 75-year-old man with a metal hip and a fucking pacemaker can do that job. That job is for old men only. You can't replace them. They go out there, they got the yellow vest, and they slow the game down, and everyone waits on them. Hold on, let's jog it out there. I have a system. Earl, tell me when you're ready. This chain is exactly 10 yards. Where do you store it? In the shed. Is it rusty to keep it clean? Do you measure? No, well, I know a good measuring when I see one. We like to measure. That's what men do. We measure, we realign, then we remeasure. Then you cut. We're not cutting anything, whatever. So if he has a heart attack, he has a heart attack. That man wouldn't rather die any other way than to find out if Justice Hill got a first down on the 45 on 2nd and 8. That's what that man was born to do in his golden years. You can't just replace them with some goddamn slickster millennial who's going to be complaining the whole time. Why can't we get a laser to do this? Why do I have to go all the way out there? Because it's football. Some things don't change. And it's actually dumb things. Oh, man. Unbelievable. And somehow the Ravens lost. I know. Tequila Spikes says the amount of urine in Justice Hill's pants after he caught that lateral. Listen. The Ravens had one last play. They're going to throw a Hail Mary down 3, obviously. And instead of doing a Hail Mary, they did something I liked. And I can't believe more teams don't do this. They just had Lamar Jackson run the ball. Like, he's your best player. He's the hardest to tackle in the open field. Have a guy run the ball. Don't even have any linemen out there. That's why I don't understand these Hail Mary plays. Make it like a flag football play. Get 10 guys out there that can all run, that are receivers and running backs, and just fucking snap the ball back 20 yards and fly around and do your laterals that way. Nobody's blocking anybody. But get guys who want to touch the ball and who can run. Anyway, Lamar Jackson took off. The defense had no idea what was going on. And it looked like he had a seam. It looked like all he had to do was make 1 or 2 moves, and he could have scored or at least had a chance. But he just kind of stopped and made a left into 30 and assumed someone was coming at them and threw the ball backwards, and it's over. Once you turn around and launch the ball backwards, it's over. I mean, I'm not going to blame Lamar Jackson, obviously, for not scoring on that play, but it seemed like if he tried it, I bet he could have chanced, because only 2 guys had an angle on him, and it wasn't that great of an angle, and he's Lamar Jackson. But my point is they should do more of that. Not the Dallas thing where they put Ezekiel Elliott center and he got trucked. But put all of them in there. Maybe a couple linemen just to stop the one thing, but that's it. Then it's like 8, 10 receivers flying around, tossing the ball around. Anyway, that was that. So Baltimore lost. We are down to 1 entry in the road to 10 million, but we're still there. We still got content coming out. I watched it with some people. I was going to save this for the box. Well, I might as well do the box. Oh. Thank you, SC Generates. You are in the box. I'll talk more about the road to 10 million. We did take Houston. So we got the rough and the pass, blah, blah, blah. People are really trashing Caleb Williams. My God. I don't think he's that bad. I mean, yeah, he's had a couple bad games. Like, this isn't college anymore. All right, well, the line's pretty fucking bad. And it's been 2 games. It's been 2 games. Good Lord, take it easy. Jaden Daniels isn't throwing the ball anywhere. I guess he doesn't. It doesn't look. Bo Nix is bad, but Caleb. It's because Caleb's Caleb Williams. That's why. And he looks so good in the Hard Knocks. Can't believe Hard Knocks didn't translate well into the NFL regular season, but they still covered. These bastards. God, I can't believe the Bears covered that game. And I really can't. Anyway, enough of how great the books did. Let's talk to the box. So yesterday I was watching, I hosted a couple people over in the games. And this goes out to all the C-generates out there. And this is my first time back home in Los Angeles on the road last week. Then I watched it, and then I watched week 1 in Las Vegas. Shout out to anyone who stopped by and caught us at the Westgate. But I was finally back with friends, kind of, and I forgot real quickly what it is to watch games not around compulsive gamblers who are used to that lifestyle. God bless them. They shouldn't be, and I envy them. I envy them how gambling doesn't control their lives on NFL Sundays. How they can go to social things. I was supposed to go to a party last night, party, whatever, for this this girl's hosting that she's very nice, good friends. You know, half my friends went. I was like, I can't go. I got to watch this Texans-Bears game now because Baltimore lost. This is my last Survivor entry. Were you crazy? Because I know how I'd be at a party while a game's going on somewhere else. If either the game's going to be on somewhere and I'm going to be watching it and the girl hosting the party's going to be pissed, or I'm going to be like, trying to get updates and all that, and she's going to be pissed no matter what. Point is, I'm talking about male friends now, too. I was watching the games yesterday, a couple with friends. I'm not saying they have the old girlfriend mentality. Now, what's a first down? Not like that. But anytime that I have to explain point spreads or money lines or over-unders or anything like that, anytime I have to explain that, that's what I feel like. I feel like I'm explaining the rules of the game to a girlfriend. and it takes me back. So I'm not used to that. And that's what it was. And then you were Survivor. Like, I'm in Survivor pool 2. I never get past week 2 because I was a little upset when Baltimore lost. Not going to lie. I showed my emotions. You lose $1,000 entry. Like, I wish I had $1,000 entry. I am happy that it took out a majority of people in Circa. Now Circa's only down like 4,000 entries. But at the same time, I was a little upset. Like, yeah, I get it. I was on it down. I'm like, fuck. And I'm just like, kind of stuff. Fuck you. Would you have a free Yahoo thing? What are you talking about? I don't want to hear it. And I realize I'm in the wrong. I know. I'm always in the wrong. I get it. And they're not supposed to know. I shouldn't push my disease onto them. But that's what it felt like. Like, I don't want to hear. So much so, I know I might have had the wrong tone when I talked about the Baltimore loss and how they don't understand what I'm saying because they eventually left before the Houston Bears game and texted me the next day, hey, congratulations on your Houston thing. I realize that's a big thing for you because you have a giant schedule on your wall and no woman would ever allow that in her apartment. So I know a lot about your life. It was good. Anyway, it's just funny watching and I understand, like, oh yeah, this is the way you're supposed to. You're supposed to enjoy the game. And like, his team was whatever it was. Let's say he liked Dallas, which he did, which says a lot. And he's just like, can we turn this off? And I'm enjoying that. I always enjoy Dallas getting blown out. But then he also had the Rams. Can we turn this off to get blown out? I don't care if a team's getting blown out. I still want to watch every single play. Every play matters. There's a prop involved. What are you talking about? What do you mean it's over? It's not over. Demarcus Robinson doesn't have over 43 and a half yards yet. Are you crazy? This game isn't over. Tyler Johnson needs to hit 3.5 receptions. I don't care if they're down 41-3. No, you're going to sit and take this. What are you here for, entertainment? All right, fine. I'll put out more cheese. Is that happy? Did that make you happy? There's more cheese. Anyway, I say this knowing I'm in the wrong, but it was a good reminder that that's right. Everyone doesn't have a disgusting gambling addiction. And if anyone you know or love has a gambling addiction, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Anyway, that's going to do it for the box. As I chomp on the ice cube. God, have I been unprofessional today? Chomping on ice cubes in a microphone. Am I out of my mind? Good Lord, CJ. And that's my complaint about podcasts, too, is how none of them are just to do any kind of show. It's just them talking into a mic. And I get it. You want information on podcasts a lot. But, I mean, put a little pizzazz, something, a little entertainment. Let's go. Hit a soundbite. Who something.
I'm not touching Deshaun Watson.
Neither did Jacksonville's defense. You sons of booches. I was going to get into the whole political Uber things, but I don't want to. You know what? This whole weekend bummed me out. Unbelievable. That's what upset me more. I was waking up to thanks a lot from friends with picks for giving me these bad picks. I gave them bad college picks too. In their defense, I was heavy on Georgia, who did absolutely nothing. They beat Kentucky by 1. Way to go, Georgia. You sons of bitches. UFC bombs. We lost all those too. The UFC, by the way, too. Mike, come on with that. I watched it. I got sold that can of whatever. That junk. I can't think of any terms. UFC at the Sphere, a one-time event at the Sphere. They didn't put the fight on the Sphere. They just had some ridiculous animated background. Yeah, the Sphere is awesome, very impressive, but put the fighters on there. Let's see the fucking whole thing. Nothing. They would show some pre-fight thing about the Mexican revolution, and Rogan would be like, "Oh my God, this is amazing! I'm on mushrooms, doing." That'd be a weird thing to be trip out and let's let's take some mescal, let's take some fucking ayahuasca, and then go to the Sphere and watch two guys beat the living shit out of each other. Those last 2 fights were kind of dull too. Anyway, all right. Well, we did hit some props. We hit some ladders. It wasn't that bad. We're going to bounce back. We have Monday Night Football tonight. We have tons of props we're going to hit tonight. Make sure you thank you for liking. Hit the thumbs up button. I'm going to cut this short. I don't have to go an hour. I don't have to. Follow me on X at CJ Sullivan _ on Instagram at CJ Sullivan was taken _ in between each words. Check me out. I'll be in North Carolina the week of October 1st through the 6th. I'll be in Greensboro. I'll be in Charlotte. I'll post for dates and whatnots. I should probably read the list of the dates. You know what? That's what I'll do. I'll read a list of the dates. It is October 1st. I'll be in Greensboro, North Carolina at the Comedy Zone. October 2nd, Comedy Zone, Greenville, South Carolina. That always confused me. North Carolina, South Carolina, but there's a border right there. October 3rd, Hickory, North Carolina at the Premiere. October 4th, my birthday, Charlotte, North Carolina, Comedy Zone all weekend, the 5th and the 6th. And I'm going out of there. I'll be with TJ Miller those dates. We're going to have a good time. Come on out. It's an amazing show. Feach says this all sounds too relatable, but I don't want other hobbies. Yeah, no, I wouldn't want any other way. I just had to relearn that that's right. Not everyone thinks and feels like us. So I can't get upset. And I took it well. I tell you what, I did take that Baltimore loss a lot better knowing that I still had that last entry left. Is it ideal that I've lost 2 survivor entries in 2 weeks? No. And now we're down to our last one? Obviously not. And all the other picks got crushed. Luckily, I hit some props to get some of that back. I mean, it's been an ugly first 2 weeks, fellas and ladies and degenerates. But we turn it all around tonight, Monday Night Football. All right, that's gonna do it. I gotta wrap this up. Like he said, I don't know any other way. And if you complain to me about another loss, if the Eagles don't cover,
I have neither the time nor the inclination to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the blanket of the very freedom that I provide, and then questions the manner in which I provide it. I would rather you just said thank you and went on your way. Otherwise, I suggest you pick up a weapon and stand a post. Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to.
Oh, man, I wish I could. I need that on my phone. I need to just play that in real life, the walk-off thing. I could talk Emmys. I did not go to the Emmys. I did not. I watched a little bit of the Emmys. I watched a couple jokes. My buddy Nick Vatterott, who writes for Bill Maher's show, he showed me his Emmy invite because his writing staff, the writing staff gets nominated. They have to pay like $2,000 just to go. That's how that Emmys work. It's like, yeah, no, I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to the party that I should have went to. But That's how it is. All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks, everyone in the chat room for being on the show today. Takia, Spikes, Feach, Lamadia, ML, everyone that came out tonight. Let's go. We'll have a great show. Let's hit the Eagles. Let's hit those props. We're going to do it. I don't know what I'm saying. I got to go.